Namaskar. We are back with another episode of Career Corner, and as is every day, we take up one discipline, one domain and go deep into it. We do a deep dive with a stalwart, with a scholar of that particular domain to understand the evolution, the growth, the current status and the futuristic trends or possibilities in that particular domain. We look at a 360-degree angle on that domain, and we also look at how it is to be ideally taught, learnt, mentored, and particularly in context of Adamas University, how is this particular domain mentored and learnt. Today, very interesting domain, something that we are introduced to at our school level, but then the perceptions that we had about it at our school level and the perceptions that today would be exposed before you would be far different. I am talking of geography. Geography that we have understood, heard, began to learn even at school, maybe at class 4 or 5 from that particular level itself. But then what we knew as a subject that teaches us about flora, fauna, maps and lands and water and countries is much beyond when you go deeper into it. Today is the time. Over the next 50 minutes, we'll do a deep dive into geography. And to help us do that, we will be taught, mentored by the head of the Department of Geography, School of Basic and Applied Sciences, Adamas University, Professor Kasturi Mukherjee. Welcome to the show, Madam. Namaskar. So we begin, ma'am. The first thing, obviously, as we understand, whenever we start any domain, we need to understand how did it origin, where did it evolve. So if you could speak about what can be considered as the origin of geography, the domain of geography, and how has it evolved over the last two or three centuries till we come to this point of time?
Yes. Sir, before going into the origin, first I would like to introduce you and our audience to the subject. So, what geographers does? Geographers do question a lot. They question about where the place is, how the things are happening, what is happening, why it is happening, who is doing that and who are getting affected. Let me allow me, sir, to cite a very recent example of Amphan cyclone that hit our West Bengal, the coastal areas of West Bengal last month. So, if from the geographer's perspective we study Amphan, we would be studying in this way that where it happened, how it happened, what are the environmental factors that were playing behind the cyclone, when it happened, who are the people got affected by it and how we can restore the infrastructure. So, geographers do question a lot. The origin of geography is, if I tell.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, if you look at Amphan, the storm that hit coastal Bengal recently and brought in a huge damage. I mean, there are so many aspects. There is the physical geography of where it happened and why did it happen. Then there is ecological geography. Then there is social geography, who are affected and to what extent. There is economic geography, how much of economic losses have been there. So, it actually deals with various angles. You are very right. That's a 360-degree approach. Yes, you were talking about the origin of geography.
Yes. The origin can be traced back in 276 BC when a great philosopher called Eratosthenes first coined the term geography. But even before that, from the writings of Aristotle, Strabo, Ptolemy, we can find the existence of geography prior to that as well. The great statement of Aristotle that the earth near the equator and far away from the equator are not habitable, but the zone in between these two are habitable. This famous statement laid the very basic foundations of geographical theory, which is called environmental determinism. And environmental determinism says that between man and environment, environment plays the dominant role. Environment controls the human history, development, origin, everything. And this environmental determinism was not only confined within the discipline of geography, it was also spreaded in the allied subject. Like if you talk about the Darwin's origin of species or survival of the fittest concept, the same environmental determinism has been played the role. He has said that who will be fittest, the species that are fittest will be able to survive, and the rest of the species will be extinct.
Very important point, environmental determinism. This is something that mankind often, or people who govern nations often forget, and they start controlling nature, and then there are impacts, negative impacts in society, in economy, in ecology, as we have pandemic just now going on. We will talk about that pandemic issue also, and the geographical connections with the pandemic that we have. But very important point that you brought forth, environmental determinism. Man should not be a fool enough to think that man can orient, reorient, abuse, use whatever ecology the way he wants. Actually, environment determines much of what we live, what we do, what our habits and practices are, and our position in the ecosystem. Yes,
Yeah.
back to you.
As you have said that the human perspective, that man is determining everything, that perspective came later after environmental determinism. That theory is called possibilism. So, this man environment debate actually gave the nature of geography. So, since then the geography was all about the interaction between the man and environment. Until 1950s, 1960s, geography was a descriptive subject. In 1950s and 60s, something happened is called quantitative revolution. Quantitative revolution is the application of statistical methods, mathematical methods into geographical studies. This has changed the methodology of studying geography entirely. Lots of mathematics, lots of calculations of places, like where the industry should be located, where the agricultural land should be located, how cities are clustering. So, this kind of things have evolved, and this was the time when first law of geography was formulated. It was by Tobler. It says that everything is related to everything, but nearer things are more related, and this principle even operates today when we do the cluster analysis. So, since then computer has come and modern geography has evolved. The computer based applications, analysis, that what we do today has been evolved.
That's in 2 minutes a journey of 2200 plus years that formally we know geography has evolved, though madam has told that there were earlier writings, particularly Aristotle she has mentioned. I think we can also mention contributions of Copernicus and Galileo also in the study of geography, or at least in the understanding of Earth and its positioning in the solar system.
Yeah. Sir, as we know that Galileo was punished for saying that Earth, not the Earth, Sun was actually the center of the universe and all other planets are revolving around it. Because before that, people used to believe that Sun was the center of the universe. So, yes, geographical studies were there, but as a discipline, geography has evolved much later.
People believed that Earth was the center earlier,
yes.
And that was contested
Earth
by
was
Galileo.
The center,
and they also said that Galileo Copernicus also stood for a round Earth,
yes.
Not a flat Earth, as was originally
elliptical
believed.
Earth.
Yes. So that's interesting. And as she has said, even Galileo was punished for that. He had to pay with his life. Anyway, so we move ahead. There are various categories, classifications or types of geography, and you have already mentioned that to an extent with the Amphan example. Can you explain the different classifications of geography, the types or the categories or niche areas, if you can call, within the broad discipline of geography?
Yes, sir. Sir, even if I don't say about the specializations that we offer, just under the normal undergraduate and postgraduate courses, there are variety of options. There are geomorphology, climatology. Actually, geographers are physical scientists as well as social scientists. So, on physical part, we have geomorphology, geotectonics, climatology, hydrology, oceanography, environmental studies. On social part, we have human geography, social geography, cultural geography, political geography, health geography, urban geography, population geography, to name a few. So,
can you take this physical geography classification that you have just now given, each one, and explain in one sentence each of them? How is it distinctive?
Yeah.
You have named the categories.
Yes.
If you can explain both physical and social geography.
Okay. So, I am starting with the first paper that is offered in most of the undergraduate and postgraduate courses, that is geomorphology and geotectonics. Sir, I would like to give you one example that on the earth, the Mount Everest is standing with a height of more than 8,000 meter, whereas Mariana Trench is having a depth of 11,000 meter. How beautifully completely two opposite features are coexisting within a planet. Who will give the explanation to this? It is the geomorphologist who give the explanation of this. Under the subject called geomorphology and geotectonics, students will study about the origin of the rocks, origin of mountains, origin of trench, and all the features, the physical features that we see on the earth surface, their origin, slope development, processes, and evolution. Now, if I come to climatology, climatology is another interesting subject. We can see all around us the weather phenomena, like we are feeling the heat or precipitation is happening, humidity, wind is flowing, all these aspects has been studied under the subject called climatology. And not only this, under climatology, students also understand the evolution of Earth's climate, how the climate was in the ice age, how the climate is now, why the change has happened, and what was happened in the ice age, why the changes have been happened in the ice age. So, these are the things that climatologists explore, and under climatology students study. If I talk about oceanography, it's a very important subject today. Oceanography studies about all the biological, physical and chemical things that are happening within the ocean, the morphologies of ocean, and the most important thing is the ocean pollution. Every day we are getting pictures that the marine species are dying because of consumptions of plastics. So, this kind of study makes the role of oceanographers even more relevant today than it was been ever. If I study if I say about the environmental geography basically a bridge between the human geography and physical geography. It studies about the impact of environment on human being as well as the impact of human being on the environment, and it studies about the environmental modelings, like it tries to predict the environmental changes in the coming years that is happening. So, these are the few courses. I think the students who will be studying physical geography will be very much interested in those subjects, and each of the subjects provide you a broad career aspect in future.
Hey, welcome to Adamas. My research is on my way. I am very much proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Cricket is my passion and I am proud to be a part of Adamas University. Devoshmita Biswar.
This is Kunal Kanti Maiti.
I'm Srijoni Paul. This college has given me placement in one of the best companies in US staffing, which is Iconma. I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University. In front of Adamas University. That was the day when I realized how much affection my dad had for me. Moreover, the trust and expectations which he conveyed through a glimpse of his eyes without uttering a single word were so touching. And to my mind, this was the time to start a new life. It was a new day, a new place, new surroundings, which would be leading me to a new journey. Excitement and nervousness were at their peak, as I was going to start everything on my own. Was a little nervous, thinking how this surrounding would accept me. But to my surprise, a tinge of happiness ran within me when strangers became friends. The bond grew stronger with each passing day, and very soon my campus became my second home. Life is always surrounded with lots of queries, and so is your classroom, where you get them answered. And that's how you get an insight into your own self and the subject you study. I was so lucky to be learning everything hands-on, practically in several labs, in workshops, in multiple studios, and through indoor and outdoor activities. Beyond studies, there is another avenue which connects me to my soul, and that is sports. I firmly believe that talent wins a game, but teamwork and intelligence create champions. Always make an effort, even when odds are against you, because I believe that a dream doesn't become a reality through magic. It takes a lot of trust, determination, and hard work to create magic. As you approach the end of your journey on the campus, examination will test your memory and application, whereas life will test your actual learning. And finally, you see all your hard work creating a new reality. The results you achieve will be in direct proportion to the efforts you put in. I want to thank you with all my heart for all the faith, hope, and belief you had in me, for all the strength you gave me to face challenges with confidence, along with the wisdom to choose my battles carefully. Today on this day, all my efforts and results are for you. You have been the pillar of my dreams and will always be. and to my alma mater, Adamas University. I can never thank you enough for making me a man out of a boy and a professional out of a student. I will remain a lifelong learner.
I'm proud to be part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University.
Biosciences and technological developments based on biology, including entrepreneurship in this sector, are on the rise in India. We are home to many developments in all forms of biotechnological products with applications in food, nutrition, healthcare, packaging, etc. The unique BTech and BSc programs in Adamas School of Biosciences and Biotechnology are path-breaking academic innovation in this sector. Welcome to the world of biotechnology. As India aims for $5 trillion economy, the nation needs a large pool of trained economists and commerce graduates, focusing on taxation, macro and microeconomics, etc. Adamas School of Economics and Commerce is in the mission preparing finance and economics professional to lead this journey with value-added modules on the stock market and big data. Global society of nearly 8 billion people with 1.3 billion in India is going through a churn, be it politics, economics, history, society, international relations, or in the literary expressions. There are major movements, growth initiatives, new literary trends, and the social issues rising in various parts of the world. Hence, the need to have an in-depth, perceptive education of liberal arts which encompasses all of these. Welcome to the Adamas University School of Social Sciences. It is important to be on the right side of the law and even more important to ensure justice for all. The Adamas School of Law and Justice firmly believes in this dictum. With moot courts, national and international seminars, debates and initiatives of various type, the law school offers integrated courses with BBA, BCom and BA as well, with different focus areas. With a 24-hour work culture, Adamas School of Management prepares professionals for marketing, human resources, finance, supply chain management and pharmaceutical management for the new Indian economy targeting $5 trillion annually. Close association with several top corporate houses and intellectual talent in the classroom, the school is proud to have one of the highest placement records in East and the Northeast India. A top-class hands-on engineering and technology education with high emphasis on soft skills, emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence learning, the Adamas School of Engineering and Technology is a trailblazing institute. It integrates learning in the classroom with the laboratory, workshops, and the factories or the corporate offices. It is also associated with several universities in the world. Education today is changing the traditional chalk and talk method into new age experiential learning. New techniques like flipped classroom, case study method, and increasingly higher component of learning by doing are changing the game. Also, evaluation processes are evolving from just semester end exam to continuous evaluation. Jury judge practical work, life projects, and whatnot. Adamas School of Education prepares these new age teachers for schools and colleges of India.
You spoke about social geography, various aspects. There are certain more you mentioned. If you could explain on social geography.
On part of social geography, we have social geography, cultural geography. In these cases, we study the caste system, the social structure, the gender system, the linguistic spread, the origin of religion, the cultures of different places, how people are living, how people living one in area having a distinctive culture give the area a different shape. So these kinds of things we study in social and cultural geography.
In a way, a lot of cultural studies and sociological aspects seem to be overlapping with social geography.
Yes,
particularly with respect to cultural geography that you have said.
Yes,
lot many, even to an extent, food habits and attire. These are also connected to environment and culture in a big way.
Yes.
So they also be overlapping. I find a wide range of geography that you are presenting from if I can take from the left side of the brain, which is more physical geography, to the right side of the brain, which is more cultural geography or social geography. So there is a wide range of areas or focus areas of geography which evolve. So this subject is suitable, or rather should be open to students who come out with a science background, commerce background, arts background, or everything.
Yeah.
What exactly?
Yes, students who are coming from the science background, they can also opt geography. Students who are coming from the humanities background, they can also opt geography. Suppose you have opted geography, but you have some affinity towards physics in class 2 or in school level. So you will be finding the climatic phenomena more interesting. The formation of cyclones, temperate cyclones, tropical cyclones, thunderstorm, precipitations, and running the weather prediction model, this thing will be more interesting for you. If you have some affinity in chemistry, then soil geography, biogeography, environmental geography is more for you, because what we do under this subject, we collect the soil samples, we collect the water samples, lot of titrations and chemical reactions are involved, and after that we get the properties of the soils and waters, the physical property, the chemical property, the metallic concentration, the nitrate, phosphate, the dissolved oxygen, BOD, COD, TDS, this kind of things we get. So lots of chemistries are also involved in geography.
Yeah, I can. It's almost like listening to a chemistry study. When you are talking of the compounds and the complex nature of chemicals that you study, particularly in soil. Yes, there is a lot of chemistry involved in, and there is a subject called soil chemistry, what you are
yes.
in a way calling soil geography.
There are lots of scopes for mathematicians as well. We have a
Right.
subject called mathematical geography. You will be astonished to know that, sir, we have historical geography, we have mathematical geography. So wide variety of subjects we offer. So lots of mathematicals, like when we are doing the map projections, when we are doing the cartography, lots of derivations are involved, lots of mathematics are involved. When we do the route matrix in a city, like which of the routes should be optimized. Suppose government want to set up its base in a city, so that all the cities should be reachable, accessible to from the base. So this is completely mathematics. It is completely based on the route matrix. Suppose we want to estimate that how much of soil water is there and how much water is required for agriculture. So lots of mathematical studies once again in part of hydrology. So mathematics students also find all these things very interesting, and if you have come from humanities background, if you do not like science so much, so that's fine, because you have social geography, cultural geography,
But
political
at
geography.
the base, everyone has to study all types of geography,
Yes.
and then evolve into
Yes,
specialization.
of course.
So in principle, an education in geography, and particularly in your department, is open to students coming from science, arts and commerce, all backgrounds.
Yes, sir.
So to bring them together at par, if they come from multiple backgrounds, do you do a bridge course or anything like that?
Yes, sir. We have great courses, like we have basic mathematics and sciences. Like those students who didn't study science in class 2, they can study the basic concept of science and mathematics. That will be helpful for them to study the few basic concepts of geography, or maybe furthering in geography. And we have incorporated that. I will be talking about in detail later, the subject called geoinformatics from the semester 1, and students, when starting from semester 1, we go to semester 6 with lots of geoinformatics knowledges, then career and jobs will be no bar for them. So these are the things, and computer science is an integral subject of geography. We offer computer science as an elective subject to the second year students of geography, and lots of computer programmings they learn, so that they can understand the geoinformatics concept more better. So these are the subjects that are offered to the art students, to the science students, to make them in one platform and make them prepare for the market and for further studies, for the jobs.
Yeah, you just spoke about that anyone can come from any background. Before we get into properly technically onto education of geography, there is one more issue that I would like to flag out and ask your impressions or ask your feedback on that, is that the concept of the world has been changing. As we mentioned at the beginning, Earth was considered to be flat and then round, and even point to point understanding has been changing, and there is no single time for the entire world. There are several time zones. So how has the concept of Earth, the shape, size, the time dimension and understanding of the globe, how has it evolved over time? If you could throw some light on that.
Yes, sir. So, the things are like this, the geography is currently experiencing a paradigm shift. Lots of new things are being incorporated within the discipline, and it is actually changing the nature of the subject. So, I will talk about it one by one. So, first is the field study. Field study is an integral part of geography. Whether it is a old school geography, whether it is a new school geography, field studies are important and cannot be substituted. So, what we do in field study, we go to a field with questionnaire survey, for personal interview, for instrument survey and for sample collections. These are the 4 surveys we do. I am talking about the general fields of undergraduate and postgraduate. If there is a special fields for research, that is completely different. In general fields, we collect lots of data about the topography of the area with the instruments called theodolite, total station, Dumpy level, prismatic compass. You have seen all the instruments. Actually, civil engineers, when construct the roads or any kind of construction, they use these instruments, and the students of geography also learn this survey to understand the topography of the area, the distance, the slope, the elevation, the latitude, longitude, altitude, everything has been recorded. And this survey techniques, sir, I would like to let you know that this survey techniques, this learning of survey techniques make the students market ready in the civil engineering firms. Lots of students get absorbed in the civil engineering firms because they know this surveying technique. So, we do this surveying in field with the instruments. This is physical survey. Through questionnaires and personal interview, we go to the houses, we collect lots of data, and we try to understand the socio-cultural aspects of that area. And we collect some soils samples, we collect the water samples if possible, and we collect lots of data from the hotels if it is a tourist place. So, we try to understand the tourism economy of that area. We collect lots of data from the schools to understand the educational condition of that area. So, this is how we conduct the field survey, and field survey is a very important, as I said, part of geographical studies. Under this pandemic condition, when we cannot go out and conducting field survey is just impossible. So, we have come up with an option which is called virtual field trips. Virtual field trips with gigapan photographs. Virtual field trips are organized on Google Earth web. Gigapan's photographs are megapixel photographs with billions of pixels, and it is a large photographs, and gigapan photographs can be stitched very easily to create a large panorama. And with this students, when zoom the gigapan photographs, they can see the minute details of the area, the rocks structure, the deep angles, the elevations, the slopes, all these things can be measured by the gigapan photographs. So, we are doing for temporarily we are substituting this physical field survey with the virtual field survey. This is a very new arena where geographers are working on.
Yeah, the virtual and the impact of COVID will talk separately.
Yeah.
The question was how people understand the shape and size of the Earth.
Yes.
And also time zones. If
Yeah.
you could also talk
Yes.
on that.
So, this is field surveys one by which the people understand the topography of the area, the shape of the area, the elevations and all these things. Second thing, that is the most important thing now in today's context, is the geoinformatics. We break the concept of geoinformatics into 4 parts. One is remote sensing, one is GIS, one is GPS, geographical positioning system, and another is photogrammetry. So, what we do in through GPS, we all have smartphones. So, if we want to go from location A to location B, we just put the location of the point B and the routes are ready for us. So, this is GPS. If we order something online or if we call for an Uber, then they will reach to us. This is GPS. So, what geographers do with GPS to understand the shape of the earth, to understand the different features, we actually take the latitude, longitude, altitude and track various phenomena like the forest fire can be tracked through GPS. The disasters can be tracked through GPS. What are the changes occurring on the earth's surface that can be tracked through GPS, and how this GPS works? GPS works because of the 24 satellites that are orbiting the earth in 9 different paths, constantly giving the signal to the receiving instruments, and through which we are getting the latitude, longitude and altitude. This is one thing of geoinformatics. Second part of geoinformatics is remote sensing. Remote sensing is the mostly remote sensing is the images.
Before you go further,
Yeah.
I hope this is clear to the viewers. Latitude is the horizontal line,
lines.
and longitude is the vertical
line.
positioning,
Yeah.
and altitude is the height
Yes.
of any particular place, whatever height. So, to geo position, we need to understand what is the latitudinal position of that place,
Yes.
longitudinal
Latitudinal
position
position.
of that place, and the height of that place. In that case, if all the 3 factors combined together can pinpoint a place correctly. So,
Exactly.
that's geo positioning
Yes.
in brief. Yes,
Exactly.
continue. So, we just talked about GPS. Can you explain GIS and the other terms that you introduced?
Yes, of course, sir. Now, I am coming to remote sensing. Remote sensing is mostly suppose I am seeing the color of this thing as white. This is remote sensing. It is remote sensing by human eyes, but the limitation of human eye is that it cannot see the entire electromagnetic spectrum. So, it can only see the visible rays. Through remote sensing, we can visualize many features that is otherwise it is not possible to see by the human eyes. So, remote sensing satellites are there. Satellites are surveying the earth constantly. A sensor is fitted into the satellite, and earth is constantly sending the signals in terms of its emission, backscattering, and that signal has been captured by the sensor fitted into the satellite, and finally through lots of processing the satellite images are produced. Not only this, the drone images, that is also remote sensing image, and CCTV footage, if it is geocoded, then we can also incorporate it into the remote sensing as the remote sensing images. So, combining these images, we interpret various things like as I said that crop cultivation, we can go to the field, take a signature of the crop, put it into the computer, and the crop yield can be predicted. One thing, in case of disaster management, prediction of certain kind of disasters like flood, landslide, cyclones, this is one part. Then if the disaster is hitting that area, then how much area has been affected, then post recovery, post disasters recovery, the mitigation measures which can be done through remote sensing. And when remote sensing was not there, GPS was not there, geoinformatics was not there, only the experiences of the people and the intuition actually worked for this preparation of disasters, for preparedness, for mitigation. But when remote sensing has arrived, lots of people, lots of predictions can be made, lots of lives can be saved, lots of properties can be saved by this technology. Now, coming to photogrammetry, the third component of geoinformatics, it is nothing but creating maps from the photographs. The maps can be created, maps can be 3D maps. The distance and the height of the features in the photographs can be calculated in case of photogrammetry. There is a special aircraft and very high accuracy cameras for photogrammetry. And the third component is GIS, Geographical Information System. All this data that we are getting through GPS, through satellite images, through drones, through photogrammetry, where we would store all the data. We would be storing the data in a system called Geographical Information System. This storing of data later allows us to analyze, manipulate, predict and do anything and everything.
Just as in management we have MIS, Management Information Systems, about managerial behavior or business behavior or business factors, and that helps us in taking wise managerial decisions. Similarly, here also Geographical Information System accumulates such large number of data about the position and position of any place or person as well, and it's very useful in defense, if I am not wrong.
Yes, sir.
With satellite images and all. I mean, to pinpoint on the action against Osama bin Laden, there were a lot of use of GIS,
Yes.
geoinformation, data, geoinformatics in that sense. So that was a detailed response to how people study the shape, size of locations of various places. Even time zones are also there, right? It changes from geography to geography.
Yeah.
How many time zones and what sort? How do you determine the time zones?
Time zones are, it's a very basic concept. School level we used to learn about this thing. The time zones are determined by the latitudes and longitudes only, and the distance between the one place to another place.
Please introduce us to the concept of time zone, and why are time zones different for different places? How is it determined, and what impact does it make on the geography of the place?
Yeah. So, time zones are determined by the latitudes, longitudes and the distance between the places. So, different areas are having different time zones. Now, if we are flying by aeroplane, then we probably understand this concept better. If we are flying from one country to another country, we understand this concept of time zones are better. If suppose we are flying from India towards maybe Europe, so we can see that maybe European continent like France, we are going to France, which is in more east. So, if we are starting from India, say about 4 AM, we will be constantly seeing the sunrises. We will be seeing the sunrises in several times. So, this is how the time zones actually operates, that different areas of the earth are experiencing different times for the sunrise and sundowns. This is because the earth is constantly orbiting the sun in an elliptical orbit. So, because of this orbit, the positions of the sun in respect to earth constantly changing, and the different areas of the earth is getting the sunrises in different times, and that's laid the foundation of considering the time zones.
Concept of time zone, yes. Interestingly, there are countries which have multiple time zones.
Yeah.
Like US.
Yes.
And like Indonesia.
Yeah. Because they are, when the extent of the countries is very high, the latitude and longitudinal extent when very high, so there are different time zones are there. So, that's the concept.
And there has been a big demand in India to have 2 different time zones, because people in Northeast India have to wake up earlier than the people in the rest of India, and they have to, the darkness is also earlier there. But in spite of that, the time exactly in Arunachal Pradesh and Kerala or Gujarat remain the same. So there has been a little discontent on that front for a very long time. Interesting discussion. We are getting to know about our life, our situation with respect to space, with respect to time, with respect to climate and many other areas. Very interesting, even for a person who may not belong to the domain of geography. It's a great learning indeed, and that's the pleasure of my job. Every day I get to learn new areas of new domains of learning or education.
Hey, welcome to Adamas. My research is on my way. I am very much proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Cricket is my passion and I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
You have misused, I believe.
Hi, I'm Debosmita Biswas.
This is Kunal Kanti Maiti.
I'm Srijoni Paul. This college has given me placement in one of the best companies in US staffing, which is Iconma.
I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University.
There's no more intellectual pursuit of knowledge higher than the liberal sciences, which encompass physics, chemistry, mathematics, geography, and psychology. Adamas University School of Sciences has seamlessly blended conceptual learning with practice and evolved BSc and MSc courses, leading to research, academic, and corporate careers for the learners. Welcome to the wonderful world of sciences at Adamas University. Pharmaceutical technology is on the rise in India in particular and Asia in general. And newer research in medicine is modernizing the sector immensely. We in India have the fastest growing pharma sector in the developing world today. Adamas School of Pharmaceutical Technology, with its superb and detailed laboratory facilities, has one of the best pharma schools in the nation waiting to welcome you. With a 2% share of the India's GDP, the media industry is growing faster than India's GDP. And with the world's largest number of films and television channels, it is the national informer and entertainer. With more than 1,000 films a year, cinema is our soft power. News, entertainment, brand communication, we lead Asia in all. And a multi-skilled multimedia talent is being trained in the Adamas School of Media and Communication. With a 24-hour work culture, Adamas School of Management prepares professionals for marketing, human resources, finance, supply chain management, and pharmaceutical management for the new Indian economy targeting $5 trillion annually. Close association with several top corporate houses and intellectual talent in the classroom, the school is proud to have one of the highest placement records in East and the Northeast India. With a 24-hour work culture, Adamas School of Management prepares professionals for marketing, human resources, finance, supply chain management, and pharmaceutical management for the new Indian economy targeting $5 trillion annually. Close association with several top corporate houses and intellectual talent in the classroom, the school is proud to have one of the highest placement records in East and the Northeast India. A top-class hands-on engineering and technology education with high emphasis on soft skills, emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence learning, the Adamas School of Engineering and Technology is a trailblazing institute. It integrates learning in the classroom with laboratory, workshops, and the factories or the corporate offices. It is also associated with several universities in the world. Education today is changing the traditional chalk and talk method into new age experiential learning. New techniques like flipped classroom, case study method, and increasingly higher component of learning by doing are changing the game. Also, evaluation processes are evolving from just semester end exam to continuous evaluation. Jury judge practical work, life projects, and whatnot. Adamas School of Education prepares these new age teachers for schools and colleges of India. It is important to be on the right side of the law and even more important to ensure justice for all. The Adamas School of Law and Justice firmly believes in this dictum. With moot courts, national and international seminars, debates and initiatives of various type, the law school offers integrated courses with BBA, BCom and BA as well, with different focus areas. As India aims for $5 trillion economy, the nation needs a large pool of trained economists and commerce graduates, focusing on taxation, macro and microeconomics, etc. Adamas School of Economics and Commerce is in the mission preparing finance and economics professional to lead this journey with value-added modules on the stock market and big data. Biosciences and technological developments based on biology, including entrepreneurship in this sector, are on the rise in India. We are home to many developments in all forms of biotechnological products with applications in food, nutrition, healthcare, packaging, etc. The unique BTech and BSc programs in Adamas School of Biosciences and Biotechnology are path-breaking academic innovation in this sector. Welcome to the world of biotechnology. Global society of nearly 8 billion people with 1.3 billion in India is going through a churn. Be it politics, economics, history, society, international relations, or in the literary expressions. There are major movements, growth initiatives, new literary trends, and the social issues rising in various parts of the world. Hence, the need to have an in-depth, perceptive education of liberal arts which encompasses all of these. Welcome to the Adamas University School of Social Sciences.
ভালো রোজগার, কাজের স্বীকৃতি, স্বপ্নের চাকরি, এগুলোর জন্য কি শুধুই কঠোর পরিশ্রম যথেষ্ট? না, এটা পড়াশোনা এবং প্রফেশনাল ট্রেনিং এর একটা কম্বিনেশন। তাই যে এমন একটি কলেজ বা ইউনিভার্সিটি যেটা এই দুটোরই গ্যারান্টি দেয়, যেমন অ্যাডামাস ইউনিভার্সিটি। এখানে ছাত্ররা শুধু পরীক্ষায় দারুণ নম্বরই নয়, সঙ্গে পায় দুর্দান্ত প্লেসমেন্ট এবং কর্মজীবনের প্রয়োজনীয় দক্ষতা। তাই আজই নিজেকে রেজিস্টার করো অ্যাডামাস ইউনিভার্সিটির অ্যাডমিশন টেস্টে আর এগিয়ে যাও একটা উজ্জ্বল ভবিষ্যতের দিকে।
Moving ahead, madam, if we could also talk about, for example, when we study this entire geography, you have spoken about physical geography, social geography, within which so many categories you have spoken. When we study this, it has to be in a disciplined, structured manner. And at undergraduate level, the extent of depth has to be of one type. At postgraduate level, it has to be far more, and it has to be niche or specialized. So in your department, the Department of Geography in the School of Basic and Applied Sciences in Adamas University, what are the areas you cover under undergraduate? What is the title of the course or program, and what are the courses you cover there? And what are the titles of the program at the master's level, and what are the types of courses you cover there? How the masters and the bachelors are different with respect to depth and specialization? Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So in the Department of Geography, we offer 5 courses: BSc in Geography, MSc in Geography, Integrated MSc in Geography and Geoinformatics, PG Diploma in Geoinformatics and Geostatistics, and PhD program. So coming to BSc in Geography, as I said that students from science background, students from arts background both can come for BSc in Geography. So in first 2 semester, the core subjects, there will be 1 theory paper and 1 practical papers only, and rest of the things will be geoinformatics, the basic of geoinformatics, mathematics and environmental science, English. So this kind of interdisciplinary subjects will be more there in the first year. From second year onwards, they will be studying the climatology, regional geography, economic geography, all the basic concepts of these subjects. And geoinformatics will be there from semester 1 to semester 6, and one integral part as I said is the field, and in the semester 6 the students will be taken out for fields that we conduct the field surveys. As for now, we have conducted in Kerala, we have conducted in Sikkim, we gone to Darjeeling, we frequently go to the local field trips as well, to Barashat areas, to Barakpur areas. So these kinds of field trips are organized. So the students will be more aware about the field activities, how they can collect data, how they can find the problem, how the questionnaires are made, how the surveys are done. So this kind of practical gathering practical knowledges will be there, and theory, of course, the basic all subjects will be taught that comes under geography, the basic concepts will be taught. And as we are following the choice based credit system prescribed by UGC, in the last year of BSc Geography, students will be offered various specializations under BSc program, like urban geography, population geography, resource geography, agricultural geography, hydrology, oceanography, health geography. Those which are very new subjects to geography, those are offered as the specialization. So you have a wide range of subjects, and you can choose anything as a specialization. In post graduation level, we go to the advanced studies like advanced climatology, advanced geoinformatics, and we incorporate,
because you have also kept this common MSc geography without specializing or without qualifying it. So it's basically the depth of the study that increases, becomes an advanced one. Okay.
And one more interesting thing that we are planning to add, that we will be incorporating one project based on geoinformatics in each paper, like students are studying geoinformatics. So one project will be there, and that will be evaluated at the end of the semester, that should incorporate the methods, the techniques of geoinformatics and GIS. So if students are studying climatology, then also similar kind of projects will be there. So this kind of plannings are there. So advanced geoinformatics, advanced geomorphology, advanced climatology, advanced urban studies, urban planning, this kind of advanced level of studies are offered in post graduation level with specializations. We have 5 specializations to be offered in MSc programs. One is advanced environmental studies, geomorphology and hazard, regional and urban planning, hydrometeorology, that's a very new subject, and probably only in Adamas University in West Bengal this specialization is offered, and remote sensing and GIS. These are the 5 variety of subjects you have. So in second year of masters program, you are free to select your specialization. Accordingly, the students will be doing the dissertation, choosing their guides, and I can probably say that we publish lot of papers from the student dissertations. Like one student who had the dissertation on sound qualities in Kolkata and Barashat areas got the best paper in Jadavpur University. So she has done his work in Adamas University when she was a master degree student. So this kind of practical knowledge and applications you will be studying in master degree. In integrated,
you have talked about integrated.
Yes.
Talk about
in case of integrated study of geography and geoinformatics, the first 3 years are same as the BSc program. It's a 5 years course.
It's a 5 years. Okay.
Yes, and first 3 years are normal BSc programs. Students will be attending the classes with the BSc students, but the last 2 years will be specialized in geoinformatics. Mostly geoinformatics related papers will be there, and we have PG diploma in geoinformatics and geostatistics. It's a 1-year program with 2 semesters, and 1 semester is for pilot project, and another semester there will lots of concepts of geoinformatics, geostatistics, Python, R. So this kind of things which are very much in demand right now. This is mostly a professional course for job oriented persons.
Yeah, this actually brings us to this point of GIS and or more broader geoinformatics will be the focus area of development in future, and this will bring in a lot of jobs as well, a major aspect of career. So when you say modern geography and modern aspects of geography, is the focus on GIS? Is that what you like? And would you like to add more to what you have already talked about geoinformatics to explain what is the details of geoinformatics and its role in modern geography and also in career making for the youngsters? If you could explain further.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to say you that geoinformatics once when came to geography, the nature of geography has changed. The lots of new works have been evolved, and people loved it, and people accepted it. But nowadays the demand for geoinformatics is also changing. Now the concept of big data has come.
Yeah.
Now the concept of machine learning and artificial intelligence have come.
Then here in this aspect, geography and computing engineering is overlapping.
Exactly, sir. I always say this, geography is actually merging with computer science nowadays. So if I say about big data, what big data is? It's a large data set with large volume of data, variety of data and large velocity of data which cannot be handled by the normal systems. So in geoinformatics, the satellite data, the streaming data we get or the static data we get, we process this data, we find it difficult to process those data with the desktops. Now we are going to the distributed computing system. Initially it was called distributed computing system, now it is called the big data system. So now we are going towards the Hadoop Spark systems which are actually helping us to analyze the large volume and high velocity data. We are constantly getting signals, we are constantly getting information through satellite. Where we will store all the data, how we can process, we have to take the help of the big data. In case of machine learning and artificial intelligence, initially when geoinformatics came, what geographers used to do, suppose I am interested in understanding what is the road network of Kolkata. So what I have to do, in initial times I have to digitize all the roads manually, and this is very labor intensive and time intensive process. In case of machine learning and AI, what I can do, I can make the machine learn about the attributes of the road. Like if the feature is so linear, then it will be considered as road. If the width is so, if the length is so, then this is called a road. So I will feed this information to the computer. Now after learning it, computer will automatically classify the entire road network of my study area. So I can save lots of labor and I can save lots of time. Not only this, sometimes we miss various information and it is really not possible or very difficult to extract those information by human beings, but artificial intelligence and machine learning can't do this thing. Suppose someone is interested in studying the accident prone zones. So we really do not know what are the factors that are actually acting behind the accidents that are happening in Kolkata. So what we are doing, what the researcher is doing, researcher is identifying the accident prone zones and feeding the computer. Computer is doing, what computer is doing, computer is analyzing the allied objects as well, and it is trying to get a pattern for the accidents. And this kind of learning can be applied in other cities as well, and if through machine learning I can successfully delineate the accident prone zones, then such kinds of road networks should be can be avoided in future urban planning. So there lies the success, the intersection of machine learning, artificial intelligence and GIS, that creates a lots of opportunities for the young geographers who are interested in this.
Fabulous career opportunities. This intersection of machine learning and geoinformatics, as has been explained very well. And interestingly, I find at the end of this discussion that towards the end of this discussion that geography lies at the cross section of various other areas that we have traditionally known to be computer engineering, culture studies, even chemistry for that matter, physical sciences in general, social sciences. So a fabulous blend of skills and knowledge domains has to be there for a geographer of tomorrow. And at times the geographer would be behaving like almost an engineer or a social scientist and surely a physical scientist. And it's good to see that while in many traditional universities geography is a department which is studied largely from social geography perspective and studied in arts or humanities or social science school or social science faculty, here at Adamas you have put it under School of Basic and Applied Sciences. You could speak also on that. What's the rationale behind getting it under School of Basic and Applied Sciences?
Yes, sir. So geography was from the beginning, it is under School of Science. So as you can see that lots of mathematics, lots of physics, chemistry, computer science, programming, statistics that are involved in geography, that makes the nature of geography completely scientific. So we cannot help it out, sir. It is a science nowadays. There are lots of debates that whether it is a descriptive subject or a empirical lawmaking, a scientific subject. But now all the universities are gradually, which when geography was there in social science, but gradually they are moving into the science discipline.
That's one of the strong points in Adamas, to make a scientific approach to geography increasingly so. And not just that, you are now making it more technologically, scientifically, and even from engineering perspective stronger by bringing in an important ingredient of geoinformatics. What could be the other reasons that a youngster should select Adamas to study geography and not any other university offering the same subject?
Yes, sir. Sir, as I said that one part is syllabus. The syllabus is very enriched, and syllabus is at par with any international universities. I can say that what is exactly the market demand nowadays is, like as I said, that programming languages are required. Now geographers has to know the programming languages, because lots of companies are actually absorbing students with GIS and computer programming knowledges. So probably Adamas is the pioneering university to teach Python in their course, in master degree course. Geocomputation and geovisualization is a very new course that brought into the master degree syllabus. And as I said, computer science is there in UG syllabus, lots of statistics, geostatistics, advanced quantitative techniques, that things are there. And we put lot of emphasis on the modern studies like climate change, the environmental change, the urban planning. Now smart city projects are in, and smart city projects have made the urban planners, role of urban planners very important. So geographers with the specialization of urban planning can work on these arenas, like how the cities should spread. Like I personally also work on these urban aspects, the urban climates. Like I can say you that how cities are spreading has lots of impacts on the climates. If the cities are planned, then it is a blessing for the society, but if the cities are unplanned, it becomes a curse for the society. It creates lots of congestions, traffic congestions, environmental problems, social problems. So these kind of things are there, right there within the syllabus of our course curriculum. And also we additionally we do projects on that. So students will be getting exposed on the various international projects. That's one thing. Secondly, I would like to say that we organize lots of programs. You have also seen, sir, we used to every year we used to organize workshops. Like starting from 2018, we have arranged the workshop on open source softwares. In 2019, we have organized the workshop on drone technology, and 2020 in March, just before the lockdown period, we have organized the National Symposium for Future Geographers. So lots of responses, and who are coming to the workshops? It's a chairman of Pollution Control Board, director of NATMO, director of Indian Meteorological Department, faculties from Jawaharlal Nehru University, faculties from IIT, faculties from Calcutta University, faculties from Indian Statistical Institute, Presidency University. They all are coming, and students are directly interacting with them, and they are not only giving the lecture, they are giving the training to the participants as well. So the ecosystem that we have make here, that's very different, and this teaching learning process I think has taken a different shape in Adamas University and the Department of Geography. And not only this, we have twice observed World GIS Day, that is celebrated in November. We have celebrated in 2018 and 2019 with all the school students. Like there are lots of enthusiasm with in the school students because we organized the quiz competition, model making competition, poster competition. So lots of good models have come, and that was a very fun filled day. So this kind of activities are there, this kind of learnings are there. It's not only based on the classroom teachings, we take out to the students for the field, we take out the students for the institute visit, like River Research Institute. It's very near, it's 1 hour from here. So there the students have gone and they have studied the various models of rivers. Now river dynamics. soil dynamics, they directly can see how rivers can flow, where rivers is eroding, where river can deposit. This kind of model, actually real life model, how these things can be measured without going into the river. So these things are there. We visited ISA lab, ISA geoinformatics lab. So these are lots of different kind of activities and enthusiastic activities and young faculty members. We are 8 now in the department with lots of various different specializations. Someone is specialized in environmental geography, someone is urban planning, someone is doing the hydrological modeling, hydrodynamics, someone is assessing the impact of climate change on water scarcity, someone is doing the cadastral mapping, the land administration system. So lots of different specializations are, faculty members with different specializations are there to guide the student for choosing the right path of career.
Great. So that brings to us the various reasons, practical, conceptual, modern syllabus, and the infrastructure and faculty members. The various reasons for which, due to which a youngster should choose Adamas University for his higher education in geography. One area we have missed out perhaps, or maybe we haven't explained in a very clear manner, is cartography. Now cartography is, the cartographer's job was a very significant job at one point of time. So what is cartography? What is cartography in modern concept, particularly when we have got information services brought in? What is the role of the cartographer, and how as a cartographer career options are there? If you could speak on that.
Yes,
as
sir.
well.
I am very thankful that you have asked this. I really missed this. So cartography is a pillar of geography, and cartography is just the art of map making. So first map in the world was prepared 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
In the Babylonian era. The map was drawn on a stone, and then Ptolemy, the famous geographer, mathematician, prepared the map with latitude and longitude, and that map actually used for the exploration purpose in various continents. And then after many more years, the map projection have come, and it is the actual foundation stone of cartography. Map projection is nothing but projecting the 3D surface into the 2D paper. So Mercator's projection is probably the first projection that was widely accepted, and we are still using this. And nowadays what for map making, the modern cartographers use the survey techniques, the field survey techniques, and GPS, GIS, remote sensing techniques for preparing very high accuracy precise mapping. And yes, lots of job opportunities are there as cartographers. So it's a broad career aspect.
That's another domain that we needed to discuss. Yes, what is the research ecosystem in the geography department of your school? Yeah. The types of projects being done, types of writing being done, the PhDs and the postdoctoral researches being done. If you could speak on the research environment of the department.
As I said that there are 6 faculty members now with 2 non-teaching staffs. We are total 8. So 6 faculty members actually specialized in completely different areas. Like I work, as I said, I work on the urban climate and various aspects of unplanned urbanization. For my study, I used to work like how the cities are spreading, how the cities are sprawling, and what is the dynamics of the fringe areas. Fringe is the area that occurs between the rural area and urban area, and it's a very dynamic area because fringe is not static. So once it is fringe, tomorrow it can be converted into urban areas and another area can come up as fringe. So what are the problems of the fringe area? I work on how the resources are distributed over space and how whether people in an urban area are actually benefited from the resources or not. Suppose I have a shopping mall, but whether people are using that, why, if not, why people are not using, why less people are using that. So this kind of studies are there in our department. Students in our department already have done lots of projects on the environment, like as I said, sound pollution is one thing, soil pollution is one thing, surface water quality analysis, groundwater quality analysis. Not only the quality analysis, we are also taking the initiative to aware the surrounding areas people, like what impact, the health impact they are getting because of the using the surface and groundwater. Then we are also studying, because of this changing climatic environment, what health impact is occurring. And faculties from other genres, suppose in oceanography and hydrology, they are working on the groundwater modeling. How much water is stored there in ground, under the ground, in the aquifer. So, what is the water required, estimated water requirement for the agriculture, what is the impact of climatic change on this water, what is about eco-hydrology, hydrological modeling, hydrodynamic modeling. Someone is working on the urban and regional planning from the perspective of decision making, like how the cities should be made, how the routes should be built. So, this kind of things are there. So, these are the research arenas broadly the faculties are working on. Then anthropogeomorphology is one, like what is the impact of anthropological activities on the river health. This is another area where we are working on. And pilot project that we can say that has been done by Dr. Pratik Dash, as he has awarded with a project grant. He has been awarded for flood management in the coastal areas of Medinipur. So, that has a huge economic and social impact this kind of projects has. And we have 10 doctoral students in our department who are working on different kinds of arena based on their interest, like someone is working on the changing climate, someone is working on the river dynamics, someone is working on the ecotourism, how ecotourism spots can be developed in the
very good
Sundarban areas. So, this kind of activities are there, research activities are there.
All these projects, I am really impressed that they are largely, if not all, largely applied projects, applied research, and with huge socio-economic impact, possible impact ahead. I really appreciate, and I do hope to see, I have seen several conferences being organized here, and I do hope to see several more ahead. The last question, for a youngster who is passing out from the department, bachelor's and let us say masters as well, what are the various job prospects? You have actually hinted upon, but still in bullet points, what are the various job prospects, the domains, the categories and the organizations, types of organizations which can hire them, engage them, apart from PhD and higher education and becoming an academic, what are the other job prospects which are there?
Yes. Students can become a cartographer, student can become a land surveyor, student can become a environmental consultant, they can become urban planners. These are the broad job areas. There are lots of companies in Kolkata, outside Kolkata, who are working on the projects of geoinformatics, and they are hiring the students of geography. DRDO is an area who works on the defense and with lots of applications of remote sensing. As you have said that defense required lots of remote sensing applications, and DRDO is one place that students geography students can find suitable jobs. There are lots of institutions, as you have said, that research activity is one thing, and I have seen this trend that mostly the master's students want to go for further MTech in remote sensing or for research in geography. So, there are lots of institutions like Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, IITM, and National Institute of Hydrology. There are lots of universities are offering the research positions. So, research is of course one thing, academics is one thing, the school teacher, becoming the college teacher, becoming the university's faculties, that is one thing. And another thing is the all these things that I have mentioned, that land surveyor, cartographer, the environmental consultant, the urban planner, the GIS consultant officer. So, these are the areas where students can
Great, and that is quite a broad spread. Though I said that we'll be ending with the last question, but I have one more question for you. COVID pandemic has made life completely turn topsy-turvy, and there are positives and negatives of this entire phase that we have gone through. How have the geographers been involved during this pandemic, and what impact this pandemic shall have immediately and long term on the discipline of geography?
Yes, sir. So one thing of this pandemic, like research is going on whether the climate has an impact of this pandemic, the spread of the pandemic is not. So this is one thing where the geographers are working on. Another thing, sir, we used to see the COVID maps, the maps, interactive maps that we click that this is the area, let's see how many patients are, how many people are getting affected. This is an interactive web based map prepared by the GI scientist. This is something where geospatial works. So all the maps we are seeing, it is prepared by the geospatial techniques. Now the migrant laborers, they are returning to the home. How they will return to the home, where they will stay, this kind of things can also be mapped using the geospatial techniques. These are the areas I think where geographers has much to contribute, and of course it has impact on the discipline, the nature of geography. As I have said, that field trips, we are now organizing virtual field trips instead of physical field trips, and that's a immense thing that we are also learning this new thing, and this gigapan photography and Google Earth web is a very interesting and new thing. Second thing, sir, of course you know that we from the Adamas University Department of Geography have organized 4 webinars. We never organized webinar before that, but now under this lockdown period we have organized 4 webinars with some thousands of participants. Now they are really when we organize the physical conferences, workshops, seminars, we do not get this much of participants because of various constraints. But this pandemic helped us to reach to many people and answer the questions of many students regarding geography through this kind of webinars. So the reachability, the accessibility has become more high.
A very interesting exposition of the field of geography from physical to social and all niche areas within that, and coming to the latest development of GIS or geoinformatics. Indeed, a broad span has been covered by Professor Kasturi Mukherjee, the head of the Department of Geography, School of Basic and Applied Sciences, Adamas University, Kolkata, who has looked at the cardinal aspects that a youngster coming into the field of geography must look at. The utility of this field for defense, and she brought DRDO in that context. Urbanization, particularly use of soil, use of land, understanding of the water resources, urban planning, town planning, cartography and modern cartography using scientific techniques, and GPS. We know the use of GPS because every consumer is a GPS user these days, to locate places that we go to, or to call services of cabs and all, aggregated services of transport. Then GIS, geoinformatics, information services, GIS, big data, understanding of big data, AI and ML, and how it integrates with a big data that is generated by satellites, how they are to be interpreted, remote sensing, satellite imaging, environmental sciences, particularly in context of the sustainable growth and development demands rising more so in context of pandemic that we are going through. All these areas have been touched and explained rather, and particularly action research, applied research and research for policy making, that the projects being taken up by the department, both by research scholars and by the faculty members. It's a fabulous journey. Youngster, any youngster, I mean, if I were at your stage and phase of life, I would have been attracted towards a 5 years integrated course which teaches me to be a geographer first and a geoinformatics specialist next. In any case, for those who love to understand any of these areas that we have mentioned, that she has explained, you are welcome to have a interaction, direct interaction, and consider your training, your learning, your education, your mentoring at Adamas University. A fabulous discussion on geography, its classifications, its variety, its impact, the modern geographical elements, and the coming to life of geography where it actually transcends the traditional boundaries and becomes merged to an extent or converge to several areas of physics, chemistry, so culture studies, society, sociology, history, economy, ecology, and finally big data, AI, ML, and through that computing. Fabulous discussion. Thank you, ma'am. And we bring this session to an end with this. Namaskar.
Hey, welcome to Adamas. My research is on my way. I am very much proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Cricket is my passion and I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
You have misused, I believe.
Hi, I'm Debosmita Biswas.
This is Kunal Kanti Maiti.
I'm Srijoni Paul. This college has given me placement in one of the best companies in US staffing, which is Iconma.
I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University.
In front of Adamas University. That was the day when I realized how much affection my dad had for me. Moreover, the trust and expectations which he conveyed through a glimpse of his eyes without uttering a single word were so touching. And to my mind, this was the time to start a new life. It was a new day, a new place, new surroundings, which would be leading me to a new journey. Excitement and nervousness were at their peak, as I was going to start everything on my own. I was a little nervous, thinking how this surrounding would accept me. But to my surprise, a tinge of happiness ran within me when strangers became friends. The bond grew stronger with each passing day, and very soon, my campus became my second home. Life is always surrounded with lots of queries, and so is your classroom, where you get them answered, and that's how you get an insight into your own self and the subject you study. I was so lucky to be learning everything hands-on, practically in several labs, in workshops, in multiple studios, and through indoor and outdoor activities. Beyond studies, there is another avenue which connects me to my soul, and that is sports. I firmly believe that talent wins a game, but teamwork and intelligence create champions. Always make an effort, even when odds are against you, because I believe that a dream doesn't become a reality through magic. It takes a lot of trust, determination, and hard work to create magic. As you approach the end of your journey on the campus, examination will test your memory and application, whereas life will test your actual learning. And finally, you see all your hard work creating a new reality. The results you achieve will be in direct proportion to the efforts you put in. I want to thank you with all my heart for all the faith, hope, and belief you had in me, for all the strength you gave me to face challenges with confidence, along with the wisdom to choose my battles carefully. Today on this day, all my efforts and results are for you. You have been the pillar of my dreams and will always be. And to my alma mater, Adamas University, I can never thank you enough for making me a man out of a boy and a professional out of a student. I will remain a lifelong learner.
I'm proud to be part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University.
Biosciences and technological developments based on biology, including entrepreneurship in this sector, are on the rise in India. We are home to many developments in all forms of biotechnological products with applications in food, nutrition, healthcare, packaging, etc. The unique BTech and BSc programs in Adamas School of Biosciences and Biotechnology are path-breaking academic innovation in this sector. Welcome to the world of biotechnology. As India aims for $5 trillion economy, the nation needs a large pool of trained economists and commerce graduates, focusing on taxation, macro and microeconomics, etc. Adamas School of Economics and Commerce is in the mission preparing finance and economics professional to lead this journey with value-added modules on the stock market and big data. Global society of nearly 8 billion people with 1.3 billion in India is going through a churn, be it politics, economics, history, society, international relations, or in the literary expressions. There are major movements, growth initiatives, new literary trends, and the social issues rising in various parts of the world. Hence, the need to have an in-depth, perceptive education of liberal arts which encompasses all of these. Welcome to the Adamas University School of Social Sciences. It is important to be on the right side of the law and even more important to ensure justice for all. The Adamas School of Law and Justice firmly believes in this dictum. With moot courts, national and international seminars, debates and initiatives of various type, the law school offers integrated courses with BBA, BCom and BA as well, with different focus areas. With a 24-hour work culture, Adamas School of Management prepares professionals for marketing, human resources, finance, supply chain management and pharmaceutical management for the new Indian economy targeting $5 trillion annually. Close association with several top corporate houses and intellectual talent in the classroom, the school is proud to have one of the highest placement records in East and the Northeast India. A top-class hands-on engineering and technology education with high emphasis on soft skills, emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence learning, the Adamas School of Engineering and Technology is a trailblazing institute. It integrates learning in the classroom with the laboratory, workshops, and the factories or the corporate offices. It is also associated with several universities in the world.
Want a good job in a big city after college? Then don't skip this ad. For a great professional future, you need college education with hands-on training, smartness, and a network of talented friends. And you'll get it all at Adamas University. Professors at Adamas share their expert knowledge with students and also equip them with industry skills. Register now for Adamas University admission test and take the leap into a bright future.
Hey, welcome to Adamas.
My research is on my way. I am very much proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Cricket is my passion and I am proud to be a part of Adamas University. You have misused, I believe.
Hi, I'm Deboshmita Biswas.
This is Kunal Kanti Maiti.
I'm Srijoni Paul. This college has given me placement in one of the best companies in US staffing, which is Iconma.
I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence. Adamas University.
There's no more intellectual pursuit of knowledge higher than the liberal sciences, which encompass physics, chemistry, mathematics, geography, and psychology. Adamas University School of Sciences has seamlessly blended conceptual learning with practice and evolved BSc and MSc courses, leading to research, academic and corporate careers for the learners. Welcome to the wonderful world of sciences at Adamas University. Pharmaceutical technology is on the rise in India in particular and Asia in general. And newer research in medicine is modernizing the sector immensely. We in India have the fastest growing pharma sector in the developing world today. Adamas School of Pharmaceutical Technology, with its superb and detailed laboratory facilities, has one of the best pharma schools in the nation waiting to welcome you. With a 2% share of the India's GDP, the media industry is growing faster than India's GDP. And with the world's largest number of films and television channels, it is the national informer and entertainer. With more than 1,000 films a year, cinema is our soft power. News, entertainment, brand communication, we lead Asia in all. And a multi-skilled multimedia talent is being trained in the Adamas School of Media and Communication. With a 24-hour work culture, Adamas School of Management prepares professionals for marketing, human resources, finance, supply chain management, and pharmaceutical management for the new Indian economy targeting $5 trillion annually. Close association with several top corporate houses and intellectual talent in the classroom, the school is proud to have one of the highest placement records in East and the Northeast India. With a 24-hour work culture, Adamas School of Management prepares professionals for marketing, human resources, finance, supply chain management, and pharmaceutical management for the new Indian economy targeting $5 trillion annually. Close association with several top corporate houses and intellectual talent in the classroom, the school is proud to have one of the highest placement records in East and the Northeast India. A top-class hands-on engineering and technology education with high emphasis on soft skills, emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence learning, the Adamas School of Engineering and Technology is a trailblazing institute. It integrates learning in the classroom with the laboratory, workshops, and the factories or the corporate offices. It is also associated with several universities in the world. Education today is changing the traditional chalk and talk method into new age experiential learning. New techniques like flipped classroom, case study method, and increasingly higher component of learning by doing are changing the game. Also, evaluation processes are evolving from just semester end exam to continuous evaluation. Jury judge practical work, life projects, and whatnot. Adamas School of Education prepares these new age teachers for schools and colleges of India. It is important to be on the right side of the law and even more important to ensure justice for all. The Adamas School of Law and Justice firmly believes in this dictum. With moot courts, national and international seminars, debates and initiatives of various type, the law school offers integrated courses with BBA, BCom and BA as well, with different focus areas. As India aims for $5 trillion economy, the nation needs a large pool of trained economists and commerce graduates, focusing on taxation, macro and microeconomics, etc. Adamas School of Economics and Commerce is in the mission preparing finance and economics professional to lead this journey with value-added modules on the stock market and big data. Biosciences and technological developments based on biology, including entrepreneurship in this sector, are on the rise in India. We are home to many developments in all forms of biotechnological products with applications in food, nutrition, healthcare, packaging, etc. The unique BTech and BSc programs in Adamas School of Biosciences and Biotechnology are path-breaking academic innovation in this sector. Welcome to the world of biotechnology.